All right, guys.
What's good?
First podcast.
First podcast.
It's been a long time coming. Had a little technical difficulties, but we got it figured out, and we're on course. I know you got another meeting coming up. Busy man.
Yeah, I got about an hour and a half to blow. We good.
Justin Keanu, good friend of all of ours. Grew up in the same area, same high school. We had a little bit of an age difference.
I'm 26 and you're
29.
29? Okay.
So I've been following Justin's journey over the past few years of him getting involved in the real estate and a little bit of crypto. It's not, you wouldn't call it investing. You would actually call it somewhat of a day trade or a swing trade.
Yeah, I mean, it's all in the same category. I mean, I've got long-term holds, but I like day trading and, playing the markets each day. So,
okay.
Yeah, more towards a day trader. Crypto, it's better to hold it for the long term. I mean, everything's better to hold long term, but it's fun to day trade. It's something that I enjoy doing.
Do you know anybody that has long-term Bitcoin crypto plays from the early days?
A couple. I got a couple of friends that got in 2017, and they turned I'm not going to drop his name, but one of my friends turned $6,000 into $500,000+.
Wow.
With a coin that blew up rapidly this year.
This year?
Yeah, so it's hit or miss, but crypto is so volatile. I mean, you could become a millionaire overnight from something like $6,000, $10,000. I mean, it's not going to happen, every time, but we're in a good market right now.
Yeah.
It's like the gold rush. It's the new gold rush.
So a lot of people that invest into stocks that might not know crypto as well can see it as a very volatile market, but that can be a very good thing or a very bad thing.
Volatility is opportunity.
Opportunity.
Yeah. So if you're a day trader, I mean, you can get 20% swings every single day.
Wow.
Whether that's up, down, left, right. I mean, there's a lot of volatility in crypto.
And so we talked a little bit before we started recording for the podcast, and you were explaining that, you lose some, you win some. And it's kind of the same, even in my line of business, like with the clothing brand and coffee, there are certain things you invest. It's basically like a profit and loss.
It's a business.
Statement. It's a business.
Day trading is an actual business.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we've written out some questions. We had a small conversation about this beforehand since this is podcast number 1. So early in our podcasting stage that we haven't even named the podcast yet. If you're watching this on YouTube or anything and you got a cool name, drop it in the comments.
We'll send you a free shirt.
Yeah, there you go.
Got you.
So we wrote down some questions and we'll start off with one of these questions. So life before all this, life before you found your passion in real estate and your version of investment.
Oh man, I hopped into real estate at 18 years old. So before that, I was bussing tables, moving furniture, helping my father at his business. He had a sound and audio shop, so I was installing radios, selling radios.
I was there.
Yeah, so I was all over the place. I mean, I had 4 jobs at the early part of 18. I mean, from sun up to sundown, I was juggling, and then I was doing flooring inspections where we would rip up floors at Walmart, drill a hole in it, and test the moisture. I mean, I did everything from sanding floors, moving furniture. I mean, I was just
labor
all over.
intensive.
Yeah, everything was labor, no brain.
Right.
And you only have 2 hands. Your brain can go really far, but if you're moving furniture, there's only one thing you can do at a time. If I'm bussing tables, I've only got one source of income right then and there. My time equaled value, and it works. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you really want to amass a lot of wealth, you have to be using your brain. You have to have vehicles of investments that are going to make money while you sleep. And didn't know how to do that at 18. Nobody beat that into my head. And then I got into an office with a guy that started all of the Remaxes in Orange Beach, Gulf Shores. He was #1 agent in the world, 2006, 2008. He took me under his wing and he showed me the power of real estate. And I mean, I'd already kind of dabbled in it a little bit before. I mean, I always wanted to sell real estate. It's kind of like a dream growing up. But I listened to a couple of Grant Cardone podcasts. and he went on this like 30-minute stretch on why you should buy apartments. And in my head, I was like, hey, this makes sense. Never thought of this before, but these apartment complexes, they're making tons of money each year. And there's rarely ever a vacancy. They're economy proof almost, knock on wood. And I can't think of many other things that's going to be here 30 years from now rather than real estate and housing. No app can change the fact you need a roof over your head. I don't know if Bitcoin's going to be here in 30 years. I don't know if, there's several companies that might not be here in 30 years.
But people are going to need a place
I guarantee you, short of fire and hurricane, this building is going to probably be here collecting a paycheck, $1,300 plus a month for the next 30 years.
And in terms of safety for your finances, that is definitely a safe market. Well, as safe as they come.
Yeah, I mean, nothing is foolproof, but your risk of error and risk of loss is a lot smaller. I can control real estate. If my apartment complex isn't renting for what I think it could, I could go in and put new floors, granite, repaint, advertise to different crowd of people. I could go Section 8 if I want to. I have so much mobility.
And that's going to increase the value.
Yeah.
Possibly increase the price of the rent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Rule of thumb is for every dollar that you put into your rental. So if I stick, $100 into something, it should bring in $200 of rent extra. So, if I put let's say $10,000 into a unit, I should be able to rent it for that much more. Whatever that is times 200.
That's cool.
Yeah. I can add value pretty much. So,
honestly, it helps you out. It gets the living situation a little bit cleaner and better for the tenant. And quick, cool story. I just moved into here about 3 to 4 months ago. I went to an apartment complex, Traditions on 59. Mm-hmm. And as I was standing in the office, I noticed a trophy award on the counter that said, some type of award for rent increase. Mm-hmm. It was almost as if there are housing authority type of companies out there who actually praise the upscale. The upscale of continuing to better the living standards for your tenants and continuing to just offer that better way of life for the tenant.
Yeah.
And in that way, so it's viewed positively. I know a lot of people can see raising rent as a negative thing. And, obviously you use goodwill. If you have a tenant in a home that, is working a 9 to 5 on minimum wage, and, it could be any situation, and it's like sometimes you can make the repairs to the home or make the renovations to the home, and then when she moves out, then you bring it up.
Yeah.
So it's definitely it's like
improving quality of life.
Yeah, you don't want to harm anybody that can't handle it, but it's like, that is the game of rental properties, is to continue to better the house, because if not, it's going to decrease in value. Mm-hmm. And everything's going to decrease for the tenant.
If there weren't landlords, there wouldn't be housing.
Correct.
So if you can't afford to get a mortgage, or you don't qualify for one, and there's nobody renting a house, what are you going to do? Go out in the woods?
Exactly.
Start chopping down trees?
Yeah.
You're going to be homeless. You're offering a service, and you give up a lot of liability when you rent. People think renting's a bad thing. No, it's not a bad thing.
It's a freedom thing.
I just now bought a home for myself personally after 8 years of real estate. I have close to 20 rentals right now, and I'm just now buying a home to live in and own it.
Is that because you got comfortable enough in your finances to be able to purchase? Okay.
So if I got 20 grand and I stick that in a house, my 20 grand just went kind of poof. I don't have any income coming in. A house is a liability if it's not bringing you
it's
money.
not creating any type of cash.
If I took that 20 grand and bought a rental property, I'm making $500 to $700 a month. The house value goes up. That makes it to where I can rent a house now for half the price, or you can do what's called house hacking. So you buy a house, rent out 2 or 3 rooms. That's the best scenario. But rental properties, I think personally you should get at least 2 to 3 rentals before you actually buy a home. It's just me personally.
Right.
Because you got sideways money coming in.
Exactly.
I mean, rent, if a hurricane comes, tears your roof off, you're screwed. If you rent that house, it's the landlord's problem.
Exactly.
If the house catches on fire, you're not put in a financial hole.
So you're playing landlord during this period of time of renovating the home and then eventually having that exit plan of selling it.
I don't ever want to sell my properties.
Any of them? So,
I mean, I've sold 2
so
properties
what about,
and I regret them.
Are you personally taking care of what they call toilets and tenants, or
Yeah.
do you have like a go-to buddy?
Yeah.
That's
I got a maintenance guy who goes out there. He bills me like $65, $75 a call, but I give all my tenants his numbers directly.
Okay.
So they don't call me at 2 o'clock
So
in the morning.
the stress isn't necessarily on you for that.
No,
Okay.
You can if you run it like a business. I tell people, if you have rental properties, don't go out there swinging hammers. Don't go replace the roof. Operate it like a business. Have employees. If you can't afford employees, sub it out. Have a yard guy. Have a maintenance guy on call. Have a good interior decorator. Don't be a one-man show.
Right.
Because you can't scale like that quick.
Yeah, dude, when I was young, my father had about 8 rental properties. And I was the guy that cut the grass, and
Yeah.
I remember the stress because, you would get those calls, the refrigerator went out, and, quite technically it's on the landlord.
Yeah, it is.
So,
And-
I mean, it's good to have that guy that
Yeah.
you can call. So definitely
Makes your life just easier.
have that covered.
Yeah, the last thing I want to do is get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and
Yeah.
fix a leaky toilet. It's just it's not worth my
You
time.
already get up to check your crypto at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
No need to do anything else.
Yeah, no swinging hammers at 2 o'clock in the morning.
So you talked about getting into real estate with the Remax agent, the owner of the Remaxes. Was there anything before that was kind of pointing you in that direction, other than not, obviously labor is good to learn. There is a lot of wisdom in labor jobs, but you want to make sure your family's fed and their kids and their kids. You know what I mean? So, which is, that's a real boss move, as they would say.
Yeah, I'm at generational wealth. It's going to take a lot of moving furniture and bussing tables to make the money that I want. Trading hours for money. It's you shouldn't do that forever if you can.
Right.
So your brain will make you so much more money than your hands.
I got you. All right. Well, that's pretty cool. That's a good way of doing it, because I know your dad, like you said, owned the audio shop, which we all used to go and hang out at and get all of our systems and stuff installed into our vehicles.
And that gave me kind of like a slight edge growing up.
It showed you that there were other...
Yeah, I got brought up in a business environment. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, there's a lot of back end of owning a business that just sucks.
Right.
I mean, there's days where you're paying your employees, but you're not taking a paycheck. You could work 3 to 4 months, pay out money, and not get any money back in. There's a lot of risk and liability, but there's also a lot of
a lot of risk in not taking that step as well.
That's true. Opportunity cost.
Yeah.
So I would tell everyone, do something to start a business. Go mow lawns on the side. Go sell something.
Get your LLC.
Get your LLC.
Do it, and you won't regret it. I mean, I've failed at countless businesses, and it takes those losses to be able to create something that's worthwhile.
Learning lessons.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've launched so many companies and they failed, but just learning lessons. That's all it is. You got to fail like 10 times.
Yeah, what's that saying? Michael Jordan missed how many shots, but he's only praised for his game winning, and that's just kind of how life works.
100%.
So we'll move on to the next question. Going from that point in your life, and because that's a volatile moment in a man and woman's life when they're at that age. They're seeing everybody that's succeeding in the world. They know that they got to do something to put that bread on the table. You found it, saw success out of it. Now you're kind of living in the fruits of your labor.
Yeah.
How does that feel now, looking back? Would you have changed anything? How was it?
I wouldn't probably change anything. Everything was a learning lesson. I'm not gonna lie. The first 3 years of starting my journey of being independent, entrepreneur, starting multiple companies, it sucked. I mean, I was 18 years old. I gave up drinking. I gave up partying with my friends. I gave up relationships. Like, I distanced myself from friends that were, bad influences, just to try to succeed in life. And it was a gamble. There's no guarantee that you're gonna win. So the first thing I did was 18 years old. I had like an epiphany moment, a life change, kind of like the rock bottom, where you kind of stand back up. You either lay down or just stand back up at rock bottom.
Took the warrior's path.
Yeah, I made a vow to stop drinking, no alcohol, no drugs, nothing. And, every weekend I was in Mobile just throwing down. Like, it was just,
right.
I was just wasting my time pretty
right.
much. But every other 18-year-old's doing the exact same thing. I took a vow of sobriety. I said, until I have $100,000 in the bank, I will not touch another drop of alcohol. And that did a couple of things. One, it worked on my self-control. Being 18 years old and somebody shoves a beer in your face, you're gonna want to drink it.
It's right.
Yeah, I mean, you're just gonna want to drink it. Don't drink under the age. It's not encourage that. Don't do that. But vow of sobriety. Didn't drink for 3 years. I was going out with my friends every Friday, Saturday night. They were shoving drinks in my face. I'd say no, can't do it. I didn't even get to drink on my 21st birthday.
Is this when you started to take action in
Yes.
like the gym and fitness?
Yeah. So
to try and stay focused.
Yeah. Anything I could do to better myself, I started reaching out to wealthier people, business owners, getting advice from them. This is before I ever even went into real estate. I had just a flip moment, and I just wanted to better my life. So no drinking in the gym. I was working multiple jobs. I mean, I was just trying to do something. I just figured I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just wanted to change my environment. I was broke. I was in a horrible social setting. I was having relationship issues. Life just got to a point where it just kind of sucked. And I was like, I don't want to be like this in 5 years. So I knew that if I just worked my butt off for 3 to 5 years, it'll pay off one day, and I'll get to live a life that I dream of. See, most people want that quick. I want to be successful now. I want to be a millionaire tomorrow. How do I
build wealth?
Yeah, how do I find that one stock, that one crypto that just turns me into a millionaire tomorrow?
And it's funny because all the kids, pop culture shows all these people with all this money. They get it really quickly. They brag about it on their music.
Yeah, that's like 1% of the 1% right there.
Right. And all the time you see them lose it.
Mm-hmm.
And they go broke.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the other hand, you see guys like, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, or anybody else who...
$7 in the bank, now he's worth like $500 million.
Exactly. When they get their first really good bit of wealth built up, you start to notice that they really turn and focus on entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. They drop all these brands. Mm-hmm. Look at Conor McGregor. He's got
whiskey,
proper 12.
Yeah, that whiskey's blown up.
Whiskey.
The Rock has the highest selling tequila now.
Yeah. If you could think of something to sell over the counter at a gas station, get an LLC for it, dude. Anything's possible.
100%.
And we just want you guys to understand, because we know probably our age group that's going to be watching this is going to be anywhere from 35 down to 15. Mm-hmm. Maybe higher or lower. Mm-hmm. We don't know yet. But the thing is that to build wealth, we have to be able to take those risks.
Yeah.
There's going to be a bit of fear involved. There's going to be ups and downs, the volatility, just like the markets. I like to look at the volatility of markets almost like the human emotion system, because basically that's what the volatility in those markets are.
People getting scared, people getting
greed, scared, you know what I mean? Whatever. And so, that's part of the game. But we all know the diamond hands win, and that's what we're talking about today, is staying focused, staying grounded, getting in that routine to where you're hustling all day.
Mm-hmm. So to go back on the question, how it started, took my vow of sobriety, $100,000 in the bank, no drinking. I took every paycheck that I got from Remax and I put it in a savings account, stacked it up to $100K. I got to $80K after 2 years, and I bought a condo. It was like one of my first owner financing deals. Paid like $5,000, $15,000 down, somewhere between there. Owner financed it, started renting it. And instantly, within like 2 years, it blew up, went up to like $100,000+ worth of value. And I finally hit my $100K in the bank, was able to drink, do all that. But at that moment after that, I spent the past 3 years learning about real estate, listening to a podcast, 2 podcasts a day about the subject, audiobooks every single day. Every moment I was driving, in the gym, I had somebody in my ear giving me game. You know, I didn't have a lot of rich friends. I didn't have a lot of mentors. So I got on Grant Cardone podcast. I got on Bigger Pockets, Joshua Smith, YouTube, anybody I could find. I just wanted information. I just wanted to soak stuff up constantly.
Information.
You know, I dropped out of college after about 4 or 5 months because the teacher just wasn't teaching me anything.
Right.
But YouTube,
Yeah.
podcast.
Dude,
You can learn anything. You can learn almost anything on YouTube right now. Information's at your hand.
Yeah.
So after 3 years, I took all the money that I saved and put it into multifamily. I didn't...
Which is multifamily.
Multifamily apartments.
Apartments.
So,
right. Okay.
you know, 2 units, 50 units, multifamily. I didn't buy a Rolex. I didn't buy a Lamborghini. I didn't go out and have VIP every night. I took all of that money and put it into multifamily. And it took me 3 years of just busting my ass. And then 5 years to acquire, I think, after 5 years I had, 14 properties that just accumulated over time. And I was about 23 years old. I had, I was probably making about $5,000 to $7,000 a month to the pocket net off my rentals, grossing 10 to 13, depreciation, all that stuff. But along that time, I'm getting my rent, I'm getting appreciation. The wealth is starting to accumulate. You're not going to get a lot of wealth with 1 rental property. You start getting 4, life gets comfortable. I have this rule of thumb, every 5 rentals, my life gets that much more comfortable. So when I hit 10 rentals, I didn't have to really work anymore.
So the comfortability, it kind of builds up as...
Financial security.
Right.
I know that every month I'm going to have about the same amount of money, regardless of working or not.
So the more focus and drive you have towards it, the more you're in the gym being uncomfortable in a way, the more it's making your life comfortable.
Yeah. I'm buying quality of life. So now I'm at I think 32 actual rentals, but I have 20, 21 properties. I'm losing count now. I've been on a buying spree lately.
And let me just say this.
26 years old too. This is not normal. 26. This is hard. This is hard. It doesn't come easily. It's hard.
No, it doesn't. And I'm here to tell you, this isn't a wake up, I'll get around to it at 10 o'clock. No, this is get up, go.
Yeah. When I first started Remax,
go all day.
When I first started in Remax as an agent, I was busting it 80 hours a week. And this isn't flipping burgers, cleaning stuff 80 hours, sit there and check your phone. This is making 200 to 500 cold calls a day, trying to get people to buy or sell a condo. This is, having multiple deals going at once, brain's about to explode. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Aviator.
No.
Okay, so The Aviator is, it was a movie, Leonardo DiCaprio did it. It was about a guy who was a billionaire. He produced movies. And he worked himself so hard that his brain just imploded. He went crazy. He got stuck in a room for 50 days. He was pissing in cups and he just went crazy. I started getting I wasn't pissing in cups or anything, but my brain started to just explode.
Well,
getting burnt out.
It takes that.
Yeah, and you got to get to the breaking point. You got to cry a couple times. You got to fall on your face. You got to fail.
Exactly.
You got to go broke 4 or 5 times.
You got to hit that David Goggins mode.
Mm-hmm.
You got to
just hustle.
The David Goggins mode.
Dude, you got to hit
you got to have your feet broken and keep
running.
Yeah.
I've hit I went broke, bounced so many times, and every single time it was just I failed. Let's try this again. I know what not to do. The reason why I think I've gotten this far in life is because I don't want to give up. So if I take a loss, I'm going to try next time twice as hard. If I get punched in the face, I'm going to recover twice as hard. I'm going to say, give me 2 more.
Yeah.
So I know what not to do now.
And then you're in an MMA gym at 9 p.m. at night training.
Yeah, and I've always stayed busy, so I've made sure stay active. Work your brain, work your muscles. Work your social life. You want to have healthy balance, health, wealth, love, and happiness. If you don't have one of those, you're going to be a little off stable. It's like a chair. You have 4 legs: health, wealth, love, happiness.
I like that.
If you don't have the wealth, it's going to be real hard to be happy and healthy. If you don't have the health, what the hell's the point of everything? You're going to die. You know, if you don't have the love, you don't have the friendships, the companionships, everything, you can survive on just 3 of those. It's going to be real hard to have a chair on 2 legs.
True.
You got a chair on 1 leg, you're getting wiped out. So be sure to just balance it. Just balancing health, wealth, love, and happiness.
Which was actually that next question. How does it apply to the goal of your style of entrepreneurship? Would you say, so I see your Instagram a lot, and by the way, if you want to follow his Instagram, we'll drop it at the bottom of the video. I see you eating healthy a lot. I see you in the gym. I see you, in the meeting rooms making deals.
Mm-hmm.
How does that apply to your day-to-day life? Because I know it takes a lot to be able to wake up and be that focused on a constant during the day.
Okay, so in the gym, let's touch on that. That's been my therapy for like 10 years. It's been like, if your body isn't feeling good, you're not going to perform well. Like if you're overweight, you can barely get up out of bed every morning, you are huffing and puffing every time you walk up a flight of stairs, I would guarantee it's going to roll over in your financial life. I'm not saying be a bodybuilder or anything, but get active. Have the endorphins flowing. You actually will produce happiness by working out. Like you'll get up and move. Don't stay complacent. Get up and move for an hour a day. You don't have to lift weights. Go walk for an hour a day. Do some push-ups. Do a couple of pull-ups. Be strong physically, especially as a guy, okay? If you're a guy, you have no excuse not to be able to do at least 10 push-ups, run a mile, do something this is like a 5th grade physical education test.
Right, yeah.
Just stay in shape. It's good mentally. It disciplines you, Nothing like having a hard day at work or having a bad day, and then all of a sudden you have every excuse in the world not to go to the gym, but you go and crush it. You're just building yourself that much stronger mentally. You're just going to feel better. I mean, nothing bad's going to happen from it. I mean, let's say you went and you walked an hour a day. What if that added 2 years onto your life? All right, you chose the salad over McDonald's. What's that going to harm? It's not going to do anything bad for you.
The thing I think it does with people is, when people eat a comfort food, it's because they're trying to numb something. And if they don't numb it, it brings it out and they have to deal with it.
Oh, sugar!
And they're not ready to deal with it.
Sugar is like a drug.
Yeah.
Sugar is like...
Cheese goes to the same part of your brain as opiates, the same receptor.
Like sugar, it's almost like you get a sugar high from it. Like, you drink a soft drink, you feel better, but it's not good for you.
Right.
Go eat a salad, go eat some fruit. I mean, just drink
it takes
some
a
water.
little while for the taste buds to change over, but it will happen. And when happens, it's super easy.
Cut out junk food for 30 days. Cut out sodas for 30 days. Cut out fast food for 30 days. And then on the 31st day, have a burger from McDonald's. Tell me how you feel.
Yeah.
You're going to feel disgusted with yourself.
It's so bad.
You're going to feel horrible. And then you're going to realize, why am I putting this poison in my body?
Exactly.
Now, I still eat a lot of junk food. I still,
everything's in moderation.
Yeah, moderation.
Don't kill yourself to try and do this.
Yeah.
But everything is in moderation, and there's levels to it.
Mm-hmm.
So the hours of studying and staying focused, it's an obvious. We just covered that. It takes a lot of focus, takes a lot of studying.
I probably listen
to podcasts.
I listen to about 2 to 4 hours worth of audiobooks and podcasts a day. If I'm in the gym, I got an audiobook, I got a podcast. Driving down the road, I got a podcast, got an audiobook, got something on YouTube. Something to learn, okay? This is stuff that's going to improve the quality of my life. It doesn't have to be financial. Sometimes it's psychological. Sometimes it's nutrition. Sometimes it's, how to build better relationships. Sometimes it's how to, taxes, just anything. I just want to learn something new every single day. There might come a day where I need to know something about nutrition. There might come a day where I need to know something about taxes, crypto. I mean, there's so much stuff you can learn to apply to day-to-day life that'll make your future better. There's so many different things you can do.
And it's all out there. We're in the age of information.
If you're watching Netflix for 3 hours a day, you can get on YouTube and learn how to buy houses for low money down, how to rent. Literally, if you don't know how to do it, type it on Google. Your parents weren't able to do this. Your grandparents didn't have this opportunity. This generation has the opportunity to YouTube how to buy crypto, how to buy real estate. I learned how to buy multifamily from YouTube at 18 years old.
Isn't that something?
Grant Cardone, he had like an hour-long video on YouTube. Hey, it was something like, I don't even remember what I typed in. It was something like rich mentor or something like that. I typed in how to make money passively, and then Grant Cardone popped up, and all of a sudden, 40 minutes into this podcast, he says, this is why I buy multifamily. This is why I read books. 40 minutes into this video, I was sitting there just listening to it. I was like, all right, nothing. And then it clicked randomly. And there's so many videos like that in my history where 30 minutes into it, I'm like, aha, that's a smart idea. I'm going to write that down. It might take me another year to apply this, but it's almost like I'm just developing future skills or skills right now. I mean, I might listen to something that changes my life for the better tomorrow.
You're technically compounding intellectual thoughts.
Yeah, so...
And then eventually it clicks.
Yeah,
you
so
have an aha moment.
Let me break this one down too. You could win the lottery and become a millionaire tomorrow. If you are not a millionaire up here, you are going to lose it.
Exactly.
You're going to lose it tomorrow. And you think you can't blow through $1 million in 1 to 2 years.
Oh, you can?
Watch. Watch how quick it just goes.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to, like you just said, you don't want to be that guy, that hits the lottery or some random act of God and you get a lump sum of money handed to you.
And you just piss
and
away.
You blow it because you're not financially literate enough to understand how to actually incorporate those finances into your life. Like I think you were explaining earlier about if you want to buy something, you ought to at least have, that ought to be just 1/3 of the money you actually have, and then the other part goes into either an investment.
I think Dave Ramsey said that.
Dave
I was the biggest fan of him. But so let's say, for example, if I want to buy something right now, I'm all in on Ethereum. Don't take that as financial advice. Don't put your life savings in Ethereum. If I want to buy something right now, like I've got a 2022 Corvette coming between December and February. I don't know if I'm going to pay it off cash or finance it, but whatever I do, say the down payment on that car is $25,000. I'm going to buy $100,000 worth of Ethereum and take a collateral loan out for 25%. That way I have $100,000 worth of Ethereum, and that $25,000 pays for the down payment on my Corvette. And then I've got an asset that gives me a 50-50 chance of paying off my Corvette. And then I also have a vehicle that's going to keep making me money and growing and earning interest. And if you can't afford to buy something twice, don't buy it. Right. And whether that's a car, a house, like if I start buying rental properties, the more I think about it, if I'm going to stick $50,000 down on a house, I want to at least match that or put 4 times that into Ethereum and then just take a collateral loan out and start financing it that way. Because a mistake that I have made over the past couple of years, which I've just kind of come to the realization of, I've been house rich but cash poor, because every time I get money, I put it right into real estate. And once you got that money in real estate, it doesn't come out easily. Right. You can't just like go to the bank and say,
but it doesn't go away.
It doesn't go away. No, it's protected. It's protected. That's good. That's very good. But if you don't have the money in your bank account and the roof goes bad, you're kind of screwed. You can't just go to the bank and say, hey, I want $50,000 tomorrow. You have to apply for a refinance line of credit. It usually takes you between 30 to 90 days to get that money out, which is good. It's forced savings. But I've been all in on real estate. Never was a big fan of stocks, crypto until about 3 years ago. But now I'm trying to balance between maybe 3/4 real estate, 1/4 crypto, maybe do half and half now. I need to get a little bit of balance. But take my advice. If you are going to buy something stupid, you're going to buy a Rolex, you're going to buy a car, put either double that or triple that into some form of vehicle, stocks, crypto, maybe real estate. Just put it into something, match it. Say, if I'm going to drop $10,000 on a Rolex, I got to have 40K into Ethereum and I'm going to pull 25% of it out. Free game, you know.
Free game, guys.
Free game, you know.
Maybe that should be the name of your podcast.
I thought about it.
Or
it's been my stick.
Free game.
You know, there's not, take that advice. It's a good practice.
We just want to see people adapt this mindset. It's very freeing. Mm-hmm. You know, before you take these risky steps and you leap into the unknown and take an avenue that you might never have thought possible as a kid growing up, you know, and then it comes to fruition, it gives you a mindset that you're like, oh, wait, am I capable of anything? Mm-hmm. And then you literally are. You just put your mind to it. You know, we were told that as kids, but it's actually true. It's actually kind of funny how true it all is.
100%.
How much time you got? I know you got another.
I'm good. We got another 45 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. But yeah, let me reiterate on this. You know, your first 3 years of trying to be an entrepreneur sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing fun about it. Nothing pretty about it.
Failed business after failed business.
Dude, when you are waking up at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then you find yourself at 3 o'clock in the morning behind a desk, leaning back and forth because you have documents that need to be done the next day, or you got quotas you need to hit, or your business is going to fail, it just sucks. Right. And then all of a sudden you're working 6-7 days a week for 3 months, and you still ain't got a paycheck yet.
Exactly.
There's just, the work that you do right now is going to pay off in 5 years.
Yeah, for all my investment guys, it's basically, you know, let's say you just invested into a company because you thought it was going to do good, but actually you're the guy that has to run the business. That is entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. You're investing into yourself. And that's what, but for the really diehard entrepreneurs, definitely like me and you know, we grew up selling candy in elementary school. Mm-hmm. There's almost some, I don't want to say sick, but there's almost some type of grind to it that we just can't get enough of it. Yeah. For some reason, it's almost like a hunting gathering.
You almost enjoy the pain and the growing pain. It's almost like you enjoy it.
We're going out with the men and we're going to hunt. We bring back the kill, and it's something very genetically deep within us that it's a calling. It's a primal
building.
Calling.
You know, it's you know, there's nothing fun about being on your 9th rep when you're lifting weights and you just want to give up. But when you can push out number 10, it's like a successful feeling.
Exactly.
Every moment up until then sucks.
Then boom, endorphins, and then the rest of the day is good.
Yep. Yeah. Same thing with hunting. I mean, you might spend 8 hours sitting in a tree. You might spend 3 days sitting in a tree. Well, you get that one kill, your family eats for a month. Your family eats for weeks.
Exactly. And so we've kind of touched on a little bit of the emotional and physical areas of this. Let's get into a little bit more of the true grit of it. So let's talk about the process of actually buying a multifamily.
Oh, you want the meat and potatoes?
Yes.
Okay. So we're in a weird market for multifamily right now. It's not the same market that I had 5 years ago. I had a better market. There was a lot more product available. The numbers were better. But let's just say you're buying a house right now. Okay. You might only need 5 to 20% down to buy a house. Okay. You can, let's say you do an FHA loan for 5% for your first house. You live in it for a year, 6 months. The government says you got to live in it for a year. Do with that what you want. But you live in it for a year. You just put 5% down on a $200,000 house. That's 10 grand. When you move out of that house, you now have a rental. Don't sell it. You now can rent that house out for $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 a month, whatever you're going to get for it. You now have a source of sideways income.
So there's a bit of profit margin in there.
Yeah. So I like to do this. So say my mortgage costs me $500. I need the rent to be about $1,000.
Okay.
And I might make $250 out of that to the pocket. Now, if you're making $2,000 a month, you're making $500. The numbers are all over the place. Like I've got deals where I came in and my rent's $2,500 a month. I'm making $1,500 a month to the pocket. I've got deals where the property's paying me $6,000 a month and I'm only making $1,000. So the numbers are you just got to play with the numbers. I mean, there's always a spread. So you should at least break even on your mortgage. That's goal number one. Never be cash flow negative. You want to make sure that after you pay your yard guy, after you pay property taxes, insurance, 10% maintenance is what I usually use as a rule of thumb. Whatever you're going to gross and rent, take 10% out. That's probably going to be your maintenance. Cover the mortgage. Cover that expenses. Anything after that is play money. It's money you put in the bank account. Money you do whatever you want with. That is your bit of profit. One house, $250, $500, might not sound like a lot. 10 houses, $2,500 a month, $5,000 a month. As soon as I got to 10 rental properties, I was making somewhere between like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month to the pocket. But this is a different market back then. I was making more money back then because property was cheaper. Rents were still about the same, but property was cheaper.
So how exactly are you finding these properties or apartments or houses?
Word of mouth has been most of my properties.
Kind of through your network.
Through my network.
Built
I just
over the last
kept on telling people,
right.
Hey, if you got a rental property, let me buy it. Check your family members. You might have an uncle that has 5 rentals, and he might give you a little bit of a better deal. He might finance it for you. Okay. If you just go out and you start hanging around wealthy people, there's a chance you might meet some 70-year-old guy who's got 50 rentals, and he says, I don't care, I'll sell you one of them, get rid of them, I'm tired of them.
I can't tell you how much help my elderly mentors who played this game before we were even born have helped me out.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely find you some mentors, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Look for mentors. Have an army of mentors.
Ask.
Build your
literally.
network, and everything will just consist around people, that network.
Wealthy people are not evil. The 1% aren't evil. You might have a couple people that are evil, but I guarantee you walk up to almost any millionaire and you ask him how he did it, and you say you'll buy him coffee. He might not have the time for it, but he might give you as much game as he can. Exactly. If he can, he will go out of his way to help you. I have so many people that just randomly DM me and say, hey, let's go to the gym. I want to learn. Hey, I want to go for lunch. Let me just learn. I'll give you everything that I know. Every single rich person I've ever ran into has given me all the knowledge that they know to help me succeed.
People love having mentees because it helps refresh their mind, and because a mentee will ask questions that they might not have thought of. For
you're paying it back.
Exactly.
They don't need they've already made the money. They're comfortable in life. They will show you how they got successful. Might not work for you, but you might run into 5 wealthy people, and they might give you one strategy to change your life. And all it did was take you saying, how did you do it?
Exactly.
What can I do? Hey, do you need help?
That's stepping out of your comfort zone. Doing things that are a little bit unorthodox to the average 9-to-5er. So
let me break down some more for you again. When I first started as a real estate agent, every single day for lunch, I was taking out another real estate agent. I was taking out another real estate investor. Every day for lunch, just about. I wanted to, you'd be surprised if you tell somebody who's wealthy, I'll buy you lunch, give me 20 minutes of your time, let's go grab a sandwich.
Exactly.
Let's go grab a burger.
They're on me. And they love the drive because they remember when they were in that position.
Mm-hmm. And I feel almost obligated because when I was 18 years old, a man named Bob Shallow, the guy who ran all the Remaxes,
I've seen his name
took
everywhere.
Me under his wing. I was 18 years old. I had no value for him. He didn't care about my money, nothing. He just wanted to genuinely help. He saw that I had the drive. He saw that I was going to do it. He saw that I had the passion for it. He took time out of his day to help me. So now, anytime somebody asks me, I got to pay it back because this guy helped me at 18 years old.
Each one teaches.
If a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid comes up to me, I almost instinctually have to give them at least 15, 20 minutes of my time because I know that my 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes of that could change their life for the better. Could change their grandchildren's life.
Yeah.
I can tell them, hey, start stacking your money, learn how to buy rentals, and at 18 years old, start buying crypto stocks while your friends are blowing all their money on, Jordans and shit. Start buying crypto. Start buying stocks.
Don't have FOMO. FOMO is already a negative vibe in itself.
Don't be buying Shiba when it's up 70%. Don't be buying Dogecoin when it's up 50%. But, just start investing in yourself. Start investing in some form of asset. And when you're 21 years old, 22, and you start buying rental properties, watch what happens in 10 years. Every year, I try to buy one rental property. It's doable. I promise you. It might take 30, 40 hours of your life, tops.
When all the guys that were going out drinking are starting to get that gut going.
Dude,
been in the gym for the last 10 years buying real estate.
Dude, if you put 20% down on a $100,000 house, that's 20 grand. Let's say you can do 10% down. You can do a second home loan, which is 10% down. I'm sure you can find a way to save $10,000 in a year. Most people cut out the junk food, cut out the cigarettes, $5 a day for a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
You just gave up your rental property right there. Don't buy a new pair of Jordans every other week. Try to buy one rental property a year. Challenge you to do that. One rental property a year. And in 10 years, and your property value, you got 10 $100,000 houses. Real estate historically doubles every 10 to 20 years. You got $1 million worth of property right now. In 10 years, it might be worth $2 million. And then you've been getting paid 50 to 100 grand worth of rent every year along the way. I'm not even going to do the math on that. It's a lot of money. But let's say you bought one rental property a year for 10 years, and now you got, at 30 years old, a rental portfolio that's worth $2 million. By the time you're 60, 50, it's going to be worth $4 million, $3.5 million. And it's going to be paid off.
You're teaching the grandchildren.
Renters are going to be paying this off. You are going to be providing houses for families. You're not only going to help your family, you're going to provide for other people's families. You're going to put a roof over somebody else's head. You're going to give them the opportunity to rent your house, enjoy it, stay out of the weather, help them. And in 60 years old, you could retire off $4 million. You could retire off $3 million. You could sell your whole portfolio, live comfortably. This is a retirement plan. Every time I buy a piece of real estate, I don't even factor selling it for 5 years. I want to own it forever. I got a golden goose. Why do I want to chop the head off?
Exactly.
I want to hold it until, the whole maturity note after 30 years. Because right now, let's say I don't buy another property. I just let it mature to 60 years old. I might have a $15, $20 million real estate portfolio. I can give 5 rental properties to each one of my kids. They don't have to work from that point on out. They have sideways money. They're going to bust their ass. So I got a whole plan for that. But yeah, at 60 years old, I could have $15 to $20 million if my properties just keep appreciating and they keep getting paid off. I don't have to buy another property. I might be worth $15 to $20 million at the 60 years old. I could retire off that. Most people don't even retire with 100 grand in their bank account. Most people don't even retire with 500 grand in their bank account. I think every person should be a millionaire by 60 to even think about retirement. It's going to get real expensive. Life's going to get expensive.
Oh yeah.
But
inflation's going up.
Let's say you have a $5 million real estate portfolio and you have 2 kids. When you die, you just gave your kids $2.5 million apiece from other people paying your rent. That's generational wealth. Why do you want your kids to struggle the same way you did? My kids will never have to bust their ass the same way that I did and have to risk failure. They're going to bust their ass and they're going to have a guaranteed parachute. They're going to have a guaranteed chance to win. If they fail, I got the parachute. I'm not going to give you a dime out of my pocket. If you want to buy a property, you got to figure out how to put 25% down. I might match you or finance the other 75%. I'm going to give them the opportunities to win. I'm not going to, handhold them and baby them through the process, but I'm going to show them the way to win and kind of act like those bumper rails when you go bowling.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make sure that they're going to guaranteed at least get 1 or 2 pins and they're not going to go in the gutter. And you can do that with real estate. 30 years is going to come around quicker than you think. 10 years is going to come around quicker than you think. You're going to be 50, 60 years old and you're going to be scratching your head saying, where'd all my money go? Why are my kids working, minimum wage jobs, busting their butts because I couldn't send them to college one day? Or would you rather buy one rental property a year for the next 10 years and all of a sudden you have your kid's college fund paid for in 10 years? Buy your kid a rental property at the age they're born. So here's some free game. I'm going to drop some real meat and potatoes here. You can use this as financial advice. The day your kid's born, open up an LLC. Okay? Put it in your kid's name. Put it in your name. Buy a rental property. Have your accountant do all the back end work. Have that rental money going into a bank. Don't touch that rental money. Put it in some form of, money market, mutual fund. Give it to a financial advisor. Do something with it. And have that house mature. At 15 years old, that $200,000 house you just bought might be halfway paid off. So you got $100,000 when your kid's 15 years old and then you got 15 years worth of established income And then you got a credit card that you opened in the business name. So now your kid has 15 years.
You have all these.
Your kid has 15 years of business income.
It's like fibers in a
He's
muscle.
got an 800
The
credit
more you
score.
have, the
He's got an
stronger
800
it is.
credit score at 15 years old, 16 years old. And then at 14 years old, 13 years old, you have him mowing the grass. He's got to go fix the leaky toilet. You're teaching that labor work.
That's where the labor.
He's got to go find a tenant. He's got to go collect the rent check. You're giving your kid a business at this point, okay? And it's a passive rent income. You do this at the age they're born, you've paid off their college. If they want to go to Harvard and you got to spend $100,000, you got $100,000 in this property worth of equity. You got $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 sitting in the bank from rent, okay? And then at the age of 18 years old, you tell him, it's yours. You've instilled the values. If he sells that property, he has to have your permission first. But he's got rental income coming in. He knows how to buy more. He knows how to manage tenants. He knows how to fix stuff at his own house. Every guy should know how to fix stuff in his house.
And he's in a market that is always going to be a necessity.
Yeah. And now he has the choice. It's like, hey, do you want to play Mr. Monopoly Man? Or do you want to go to college? Do you want to go be a doctor? You know, you have the opportunity off of one purchase that might cost you $10,000. $10,000 could turn into $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 in 15 years. And you did that for your kid. Okay? And then now, your kid at 18 years old can go get a loan for almost any amount. He can go buy a house at 18 years old. He's got an 800 credit score as long as you paid everything on time. 800 credit score.
Go pro. It's all good.
He's got a property that's worth more than likely double what you paid for it. So let's just say the property's worth $300,000 now. Property might be worth $400,000. He's got $200,000 worth of equity, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 worth of money in the bank. Okay, what if that would happen to you? If you were coming out of high school at 18 years old and you're worth $500,000, you got 50, 60, 70, 80K sitting in the bank, and you got an 800 credit score, and any bank is begging you to take a loan out for a business, a house, where do you think you'd be in life?
Definitely, probably would have fooled around a little bit, bumped my head, and then got in the game. Yeah. Only because my father passed away. And
well,
I
yeah.
didn't have
Okay.
if my dad didn't pass away, which he
let's just say your mom did that. So
right.
You rule of thumb, if you ain't got parents, I feel bad for you. You have my condolences. But let's just say one of your parents did that for you. You're coming out of high school with business skills.
You're coming out with a free game.
Free game. I mean, this isn't unrealistic. This is $10,000-ish out of your pocket for your kid. This is not rocket science, okay? That's free game. You want generational wealth? I can't think of a better way to have your kid taken care of for life, okay? Also, another thing, if you got kids, you need life insurance.
Right.
Term is super, super cheap. Get life insurance for your kids. If you die in a car crash, your kids will have a $500,000 to $1 million policy taken care of when you die. Everyone should have that. If you don't, get it. If you got kids, do it. Do it. Your kids will thank me one day.
Also, if you're enjoying this, definitely subscribe. We're gonna keep coming out with these.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Definitely. So
don't be ninja watchers. Show some love.
Yeah. Comment down below. We love to talk. We love to answer questions.
Mm-hmm.
Top books for recommendation. You said you got 5 of them. What are they?
Number 1, Think and Grow Rich. That's everybody's Bible.
I love that book.
Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill.
I didn't know anybody else heard of it.
Think and Grow Rich that's not even my favorite book, but I know that is the most helpful entrepreneur book and life book that's probably ever been created outside the Bible. Okay? The next one is probably the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. And it's how to think big. Whatever your goal is. At 18 years old, I said at first, 10K in the bank. And I was like, nah, screw that. 100K. I'm going to get 10K quick.
Yeah.
100K is going to be a challenge. Challenge yourself. I set a
goal.
goal.
Goals big.
Yeah. Set big goals. You'd be surprised how far you will hit them. Let's say you have a goal, have 100K in the bank in a year. It's hard. It's not easy. But let's say you get halfway there. You have 50K in the bank. It's a win.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no,
Instead of setting the 10K
I didn't hit it.
goal.
If you didn't set that goal, you'd have more than likely somewhere between 0 and 0. More than likely.
Yeah, with the 10K goal, you'd have been Netflix and chilling.
Yeah, I would hit that in like 3 months and I would have been like, all right, yeah, cool, I can drink, I can go party, whatever. I had something that I had to work towards, set big goals. So, Think and Grow Rich, 10X Rule, The Richest Man in Babylon is kind of like a Bible book.
I've heard of it, never read it.
It's a really good book. It's kind of like, if you were going to give a book to a kid to read about entrepreneurship, I'd probably give him The Richest Man in Babylon. Number 4, probably going to be Sell or Be Sold, just because I was in sales, and that's by Grant Cardone. The next book this is a guidebook. It's called The Unplugged Alpha by Rich Cooper. It's a book that actually just came out. If you are a guy, you need to listen to or read this book. It's called The Unplugged Alpha. It is basically a book, if you don't have a father figure and you don't have the necessary life skills as a man, you need to read The Unplugged Alpha by Rich Cooper.
I'll add it to my list.
100%. It's a new book that just came out.
Can you put this on charge?
Unplugged Alpha. If you're a guy, that's going to be a book that changes your life. Okay? It's going to really knock some common sense into your head. Okay? So those are my top 5 books that I recommend for everybody. 4 books for normal people. Even if you're a girl, read The Unplugged Alpha, and you'll learn how guys operate. You'll learn how they think.
Right.
Men and women are totally different. They think different. Mm-hmm. Read The Unplugged Alpha if you want to learn more about how your husband thinks. The Unplugged Alpha. So those are my 5 books.
Nice. So you mentioned having a success blueprint. What exactly do you mean by that?
A success blueprint. Okay. This is going to be blunt. Okay. Stop hanging out with losers. They will drag you down. And I don't mean
people with no value.
People
not as in finance.
People that are just trying to drag you down. People that something bad is always happening to them. And I'm not talking about your childhood friend who accidentally missed a payment on his car and he got repossessed. That's not what I'm talking. I'm talking about the friend that says, "Hey, what's up? You want to go do dope this weekend?"
I know exactly. When you said that, I know exactly who that is for me.
Don't hang out with losers. If you think that you will be if you're going to hang out with 4 crackheads and then you think you're going to be the 5th sober one, they're going to catch you.
Yeah.
They're going to drag you down.
Yeah.
You hang out with 4 losers, you're going to be number 5 eventually.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean just because they're broke, they're a loser. It doesn't mean just because they're out of shape, they're a loser. It just means don't hang around people that's going to drag you down.
Any type of pessimistic tendencies, don't start that business, it's going to be embarrassing or it's going to fail. And who cares?
Try it.
Try it. You're going to have fun. The one thing I look back on, the moments that almost bring me to tears are thinking back on how much fun it was. Getting with my family and starting these little businesses. They failed, but that brought us so close.
Yeah.
And
it could have worked.
Exactly.
Could have worked. Could have blew up. So that's number 1. Do not hang out with losers. Okay? And if you've got some friends that are developing bad habits and they are starting to take on, they're going down a bad path in life, it is your job to help them, let them know. Do not try to carry them, but say, hey, you're going in a direction in life that I don't like and I don't want to be associated with. If you're over there stealing from people, getting drunk every single night, you're missing work, you don't take care of your kids, whatever, you need to check them because that is going to come back on you.
That's what a real friend
That is a real friend. Yes. So if you tell your friend, hey, you're going to need to fix this if you want to associate with me, you are going to either verify that he is going to be a bad friend, or B, you are going to be a good friend for helping him and saving his life. So do not hang around losers. You are the product of the company you keep. I guarantee you, let me see 5 of your friends and I will be able to average out who you are as a person. If you hang around, you are probably going to be the net worth of 5 of your friends. Mentally, financially, physically, which is going to happen. And then that's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is have a 5-year game plan. What do you want to do in 5 years? Reverse engineer it. Say, I want to be a millionaire in 5 years. It's like, all right, how do I earn $1 million? Okay, 5 years. That's what? 200 grand. That's 200 grand a year. I got to make 200 grand a year. What do I got to do to do that? Or let's say, hey, in 5 years from now, I want to pay off all my debts. I want to pay off my house.
When you break it down, sometimes it's like, oh wow, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely with the clothing brand I run, I realized very quickly, if I want to bring it to 100K a year, that's 300 units a month. What?
Let's say if you want to be a millionaire,
what? That's nothing.
Yeah.
So now my little goal that seemed like a big goal at the time, now I'm like, okay, let's triple, let's quadruple that. Mm-hmm. And now
you realize you set a small goal to begin with. Yeah. You should have set higher.
Wow. And you're like, okay, now you got the energy. Now you got, the drive to keep going.
Let me reiterate on the goal thing. Don't set a goal that is just so unobtainable you're going to give up. Have something that's going to challenge you. Okay? Don't say I want to be a 100 millionaire at the age of 19. You're going to somebody might do it. 99.9% of people probably aren't. Set a goal to be 100,000 at 19. Yes. And then the next year say, I want to have 250. The next year, I want to hit 500.
Yep.
And figure out what your pace is and set your goals accordingly. Set quarterly goals. Have a 5-year goal, but have quarterly goals ever along the way and try to hit those. So that's number 2. Okay. Number 3 would have to be in shape. You are what you put in your body. Drink water. Drink more water. Finish it off with more water. Most people do not hydrate enough. They're drinking Cokes. I try to drink a gallon a day. Your body is like 70% water.
Yeah.
Drink water.
Cameraman's drinking body armor.
Eat real food. Eat real food. Okay? Have a salad every now and then. Yes. Have a steak, a free-range steak.
Hey, what did you see when you looked in my kitchen?
You got nothing but Whole Foods.
Whole Foods.
You're going to feel better.
That's it.
I'm all about that. I try to eat. I have a balance. I want to eat at least 3/4 healthy, and then 1/4 is going to be just me, eating kind of like,
like I said, I have my fish tacos.
Yeah.
So on the weekend.
Don't cut out all junk food. Don't cut out all sodas. I mean, just, you can splurge, but just have the majority of your diet healthy, productive foods. And it ain't got to be horrible. You could eat a chicken breast that's been marinated for an hour and have steamed vegetables on the side. That's a fire meal.
Yes.
You ain't got to sit there and eat tofu every day. Mm-hmm. Grill a steak.
Yeah.
Have
Whole
some
foods.
Yeah.
Try to go as unprocessed as possible. If it's not in your area, just do the best you can. You will see the benefits. It's not like something you've never done. This is proven science.
Yeah.
You eat better.
You're gonna feel better.
You exercise, and it can be moderate.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to compound over time.
Yeah.
You're going to see results, and it's going to improve the quality of your life.
When you're 60 years old and you've been eating McDonald's every day for the rest of your first half of your life, how do you think you're going to look? How do you think you're going to feel? You're going to be in and out of the doctor's office. High blood pressure, high cholesterol. It adds up over time. Everything you do today will affect you in the future. Drink more water. When you're dehydrated, you're going to feel more depressed. Yep. You're going to feel more aches in your joints.
Those dark nights.
You think
it's the things you're going through, but no, it's what you're
drink some water, eat a salad, take some vitamins. Depression is a real thing, but there's things you can do to help or alleviate or fix a lot of problems that are going on with just diet and exercise.
And then you become a better problem solver.
Mm-hmm.
So the problems you do get faced with become easily solvable.
Okay, so we got who you surround yourself with. We've got your goals. And we've got your diet. The next, I think that's about it. I mean, you do those 3 things, something good's going to happen eventually.
Blueprint.
You're going to feel good. You're going to have good friends, good family, and then you're going to have goals to work towards. You're going to have a purpose in life. If everybody wants to get rich, I hear this all the time. Hey, I want to be a millionaire. It's like, all right, why? Why do you want to be a millionaire? Want to go buy 5 Rolexes and a Lamborghini? It's a crappy reason to be a
there's
millionaire.
a difference.
Okay. You want to be a millionaire because you want your kids to have generational wealth. All right, now we're talking. We got a goal now. You have something to work for. You want to be a millionaire because you want to start a bunch of small businesses. You want to give half of it to charity. We're talking now. You want to be a millionaire because you just want some flashy car. I promise you,
that is the
you are
new
going
wave
to bump your head against the wall.
Yep. You see these people nowadays, who aren't as, aren't driven by ego as much as, like when we were growing up, guys on Wall Street and in real estate, they were looked at as like rock stars.
Mm-hmm.
And they eventually started to act like them.
Mm-hmm.
That's not necessarily the best way. I don't want anybody to think, the first thing I thought because of my basically environment I grew up in, investments, they're like Wolf of Wall Street. They do.
You got to be some, you got to have rich parents to get in the stock game.
You got all that. But it couldn't be more further from the truth. A lot of what you see nowadays are these large corporations and companies, like for instance, North Face. They're almost, they're very top in the game of fighting against logging.
Mm-hmm.
There's just Adidas with cleaning up the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
If you are the type of person that doesn't work a 9 to 5 and you're lazy on the couch, but you're complaining about the state of the world,
yeah,
that is the basis of a business.
You find a coach problem. That's never played ball.
Exactly.
You are the.
You see the problem, make the solution, turn it into an LLC, and get after it.
Yeah,
because we can make changes.
Yeah, get to work. Yeah, 100%. 100% agree with that. 110%.
Camera guy, can you hear me on my phone?
100% agree.
Shout out to the camera guys.
So I got 5 minutes left in me.
All right.
Let's break this down with that final question that I gave you. About
which is
the going back at 18 years old.
Yes. If you could go back in time and speak to your 18-year-old self for 3 minutes, what would you say?
Okay. Side note from that, I want every single one of you to ask that to every rich person you know. Ask that to your grandfather. Ask that to your father. Ask that to everyone you know. Ask them what they would do if they could go back in time and talk to themselves at 18 years old. And you would be surprised at the answers. All right, so if I could go back and sit across the table from myself at 18 years old and have 3 minutes, I would probably tell myself, stop hanging around bad people. You are not stronger than influence. You are not stronger than peer pressure. You will be misguided and derailed from your path.
It's so enticing.
Not hang around bad people. Don't hang around bad women. Don't hang around bad friends. Don't hang around, bad environments.
Cut them out.
Do not do it. Be selective. That was my number one problem in life. I thought I could be the king of the losers.
Yeah.
I thought that just because all my friends were getting drunk every single night, doing bad things, that I was just the oddball. But you know what happened? I wasn't really doing that stuff. For the most part, I was just, everybody thought I was. All of a sudden they're like, oh no, you hang out with that guy.
Wait till your late 20s and your early 30s, and then next thing you know, everybody's looking at you again saying, oh, well, we should have took that path. But now you're so much in your own lane.
Mm-hmm.
You've focused and you've, taken this time to really work on your craft, that now the peer pressure stuff, it doesn't really exist. Now you're a mature man.
Yeah.
You have a drink when you want.
Mm-hmm.
House.
You've developed the skills to not go down that path.
Now the fun begins.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Now it's fun.
Tell myself, don't hang around bad people. The next thing would be set bigger goals. And, my 100K in the bank at, 18, and then you could take your first sip. I wish I would have said 200. I wish I would have said 250 because I would have hit it. I would have got exactly what I asked for. I was so fixated on that 100K that I could have actually gotten more. Set bigger goals. And then me personally, this is going to go against all the advice I've given, I would have said, don't work quite as hard and burn yourself out. you need to be efficient. I didn't learn how to be efficient until much later in my path. I thought that it was cool to work 80 hours a week. I was like, yeah, I'm grinding. My shirt. This is my favorite shirt.
Yeah.
I got this from a real estate investor.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Grinding is overrated. The grind is overrated. Align yourself on the right path. If you could be going 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction.
Yep. There's a balance to everything.
You figure out what you're doing first. Sharpen your axe before you go chop down a tree. Alignment is better than grind. Now, that doesn't mean don't work your butt off, but work your butt off in a productive way. You can go out there and dig a ditch 12 hours a day. You are grinding. Nobody else is working harder than you. But you ain't really going that far. You ain't doing much. I can go out there with a tractor and do all your work in less than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, all right, you busted your butt.
Yeah.
30 minutes on this John Deere tractor. Knocked out. So
You heard it from the man
align
himself.
it. Alignment.
Align. Justin Keanu giving us the free game. I think we're going to name this podcast The Blueprint. Entrepreneurship.
I like that.
Podcast
The
number
blueprint.
1.
The blueprint.
So,
Okay.
I really appreciate it, Justin.
Definitely.
Yep.
The blueprint. I like that.
Shout out to the camera guy. Like, subscribe, comment, guys. If you want to see Justin come back, which you probably will,
Yeah.
definitely let us know.
This is an hour. I could go on for 12 more.
Oh yeah, we did about an hour and 10.
Solid.
Yeah, pretty good.
Okay.
All right, guys. See you later.